This is the Xiaomi 17 Pro, the small one, alright? And it comes in a box like this. Actually, it's exactly the same size of a box, but this thing here is the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max. So let's talk about this. And in this video, I'm going to unbox it, set it up, do a first impressions, and you know what is gonna happen next. It's gonna be Antutu, Geekbench, it's gonna be Game Hub, Win Later, like all the things that I can do to this phone. Of course, also camera testing, gameplay, everything. HyperOS 3, Android 16, guys. This thing here is 6.9 inches. This thing here is 6.3 inches. Right, it has a screen on the back, 2.6 inches. This thing here, I think it's 2.9 inches. The camera setup is almost the same. We have three cameras, all of them 50 megapixels. But this camera here, the telephoto one that is 5x, actually has a better aperture, a bright aperture, 2.6 versus 3.0 here. Ultra wide, absolutely the same. The main wide camera, absolutely the same. The charging speeds, exactly the same. 100 watts wire charging and 50 watts wireless charging, but this has a huge battery, guys, 7500 mAh, which is absolutely crazy. So technically, the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max should be almost the same phone as this little baby here. But it has a bigger front screen, a bigger back screen. It has also a better telephoto camera with a brighter aperture, and then also a bigger battery. But then, guys, what else is different here? Well, there is one thing in common. Those two phones use the latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, and this chip can get too hot. So this baby here has a 20% bigger vapor chamber. Why is that important? Well, for cooling. And cooling is very important if you only use those phones with the best possible performance over time. Sustained performance, guys. So this thing here behind me is the Planet Teleport. Enjoy this very beautiful view, guys. And now let's get to this box. Let's see what is inside. Let's unbox. All right. Ta-da! Alright, what I can see is exactly the same setup as with the other Xiaomi, the smaller one. So here we have the charging accessories, 100 watts, guys, the charging brick with the Xiaomi cable with the red tips inside. This is very, very good. Here we do have the SIM card ejector. Also, the very same case as with the little Xiaomi, with one difference, guys. This is the Xiaomi 17 Pro, the smaller one, and this thing here is hard plastic. The bigger boy has a case that is made out of soft TPU, and this finally is this phone itself. Alright? Attention, now let's unbox. And now the best thing, guys. Yeah, this is one of the best things when I touch a new phone. Alright. Woo! So much bigger, guys. The little Xiaomi 17 Pro is a very good green, like jade color, and this thing here, the 17 Pro Max comes with the black color, guys, and you can see this is pretty much the very same phone, but it's bigger. Alright, it's not more powerful, guys, but it should have better cooling and also a better telephoto camera with a bright aperture. Just check those colors, guys, amazing. Also, guys, this screen here bigger than this screen, and now let's try to turn this on the front, and I'm gonna start it for the very first time, guys. But honestly, I am such a big fan of small phones like this, 6.3 inches. But as a heavy mobile user, guys, honestly, 6.8 and 6.9 just works so much better for me. And for the first time, guys, I give you the Xiaomi 17 Pro versus the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max. The screen is just the same, absolutely the same screen that is very bright, can go up to 3500 nits, guys. But this thing here should have the latest Xiaomi Crystal Dragon 3 protection. This probably not, or at least that's what I'm reading online. Nevertheless, guys, it is a very capable screen on both phones, but it's all about dimensions, guys. The volume rocker, absolutely the same. On top, we do have the antennas, alright. On this side, absolutely slick and clear. And of course, also the SIM slot. Both phones come with IP68, so not an issue at all. And I've just opened the settings screen for you to enjoy the very slim bezel now. I have a feeling that this phone almost does not have a bezel. Just take a look at this. It's absolutely stunning, guys. Alright, let's put this now on my table. Let's try to set up the 17 Pro Max and run the first benchmarks. Alright, guys, back on my review table. The Xiaomi 17 Pro. Yeah, no, alright, it was a joke. But what I wanted to show is that the boxes of the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max and the Xiaomi 17 Pro regular are absolutely the same size. The Xiaomi 17 Pro, which is this little, very small and honestly very cute phone. It has a big heart, alright, Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, and also a very nice and durable battery, 6300 mAh, and it can really go for a full day. But guys, now we bring the bigger brother, okay? And the bigger brother is actually significantly bigger, as you can see, 6.9 inches, guys, the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max. So now the biggest question is, guys, which phone is best suitable for you when you're buying a phone? Do you plan to use it for like 2-3 years? If that's the case, this one here has 16 gigabytes of RAM, this one here has 12, but yeah, both of them do have half a terabyte of storage, and you can also buy a 16 gigabyte version. But the other thing is, are you a heavy mobile user like me? And if that's the case, guys, then most probably the toughest question is going to be, all right, do I want to go big like this, or I can live with something like this? Now, there are a lot of pros and a lot of cons for both scenarios. Size really matters, guys. This thing can easily fit in your pocket and it can be easily used with one hand. But on the other hand, if you are a heavy mobile user, you want to do a lot of gaming, sometimes you also watch YouTube videos. You can do all of that here, but just take a look at that beautiful 6.9 inches screen. This is just so amazing. And honestly, guys, this is really big. I can also show you how this compares to my 16 Pro Max, but the iPhone. This is an iPhone 16 Pro Max. Okay, it has a case, so the bezels aren't that big anyway. But if I have to remove the case, you can see this thing here is really a big phone. And probably the only bigger phone than this one here is the S25 Ultra I'm using to record my video. Some of the cons, guys, being a very big phone with a very big screen, this thing is gonna be heavier. So this thing is actually noticeably heavier. Having that big of a size might not fit really in all of your new jeans, right, and all of your pockets around. So this thing here being very small, although 6.3 isn't technically that small, this thing here is very portable. What about the cameras, guys? Almost the same camera, high quality 50 megapixel cameras, the main one, the periscope, and down below this guy here is the ultra wide. But with that said, guys, the 5x here, periscope 5x camera on the 17 Pro Max has a bigger sensor and also a brighter aperture. 2.6 versus the aperture here, I believe, is 3.0, which means that you should be able to capture more light with this periscope camera, both of them optically stabilized. So it isn't really the biggest difference on there. And also the main wide cameras and the ultra wide cameras, again being 50 megapixel, absolutely the same. You're probably getting like 95% of the camera setup, but if you want to get the best out of the best from the 17 Pro lineup right now in the Max, you're gonna be able to find the better camera. This phone being big on the front means, of course, it's also big on the back. And just take a look at this. Now, I know there aren't so many use cases right now with the second or the rear display. Besides, this is probably the most useful thing. Now, you're able to absolutely control your camera, the back camera, with this thing here on both phones, okay? So you can just switch between all the cameras, which means that you're able to take selfies or vlogs or videos using the back camera, which is kind of cool. And one of the advantages is that, let's say, if I am to just go and choose my main camera, I can just take a photo. I can also try to preview it. You are going to get a bigger screen here, because at some point, guys, there's going to be plenty of things. Hopefully more notifications, hopefully other things. Right now, it's kind of limited. So the rear screen on the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max is just bigger. And if this matters to you, and if you really want to use this screen extensively, then I do believe this will also be something important. So if I have to wrap it up, guys, it's going to be all based on size, because size is going to be the deciding factor. Even the magnificent screens that both phones are using are absolutely the same, guys. So this can give you circa 2600, all right, brightness, like in high brightness mode, and up to 3500, you know, peak need brightness only in selected areas. But everything else, guys, is going to be the same. But there is something that I do believe can also kind of steer the whole discussion, and this is the battery. Having a bigger phone means that we have more space. Having more space allows us to put more things inside. So one of the first things that Xiaomi did, of course, is if we have a big screen, we're gonna need more battery to probably last the whole day. So I'm not saying that the 17 Pro Max is gonna last you more, but it comes with a 7,500 mAh versus the 6,300 mAh is a silicon carbon battery, like all the fancy China battery stuff in these phones here. And yeah, this thing has a bigger battery. But there is also something else that I mentioned in my introduction. Both phones are using the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5, and this chip is a powerful chip, and of course it draws a lot of power, it generates a lot of heat. So this phone here, the 17 Pro Max, has a bigger vapor chamber, circa 20%, okay? So the surface area in the vapor chamber here is just bigger, which I really hope to be able to physically test over the next days with emulation, with heavy intensive games like CarX and Wuthering Waves, and I really hope to see some improvements in the thermal stability. So at the end, this is going to be it. The first main big factor for a decision is the size. I think that's absolutely obvious. The second thing, I'll put the battery, because if you want to get the most out of the phone, you know, bigger battery probably is better, even with the fact that this has a smaller screen, so it's probably going to consume less. But if you can fine tune everything here, maybe, you know, gonna get more. And the third thing is the better camera. Fourth thing is apparently the whole thermal stability with the bigger vapor chamber, but I need to test this. Now, the 17 Pro Max came out of the box with the Xiaomi HyperOS Android 16, guys, and the version was 3.0.16.0. This thing here, my 17 Pro is running on 3.0.24, but I already updated my Xiaomi 17 Pro Max, and right now I want to check the version here. So we have absolutely the same firmware. Pay attention, guys, the 17 Pro has 16 GB of RAM versus 12 in the 17 Pro Max. Everything else, storage, is the same, and it's using UFS 4.1. So now, without any further reviews, guys, let me try to start Geekbench. I want to do this like together with you, but before I do so, I want to show you like the first ever score I got on the 17 Pro, and this is the first ever score I got on this phone. But I was outside, and okay, there was a lot of sun, so maybe not the best environment, but nevertheless, this was just like 1 hour ago, and you can see this is worse. But now I've installed the update. I think both phones are thermally stable. One of my higher results, when I was putting this thing in the fridge, it can go to like 3600 and more than 10,000 on the multi-core score. But I want to do this one more time, and now with the same firmware, guys, I want to see which of the phones is going to score more, or probably circa the same. Let's see. Alright, guys, we have the first ever comparison on my 17 Pro Max and the small 17. Okay, and all right, 38. One more time, guys. Yeah, 37 something. The 17 Pro Max apparently doing this test with 1 Celsius less. All right. Now, both phones are running on room temperature, so significantly higher multi-core score and a bit more on the single core score. Okay, this is something that I would like to see. Now, the next test is also going to be interesting, guys, because what I want to do right now, I want to start the Wildlife Extreme. I want to run 1 round right now to be able to compare the results. Honestly, when I did this with the Xiaomi 17 Pro, I wasn't impressed. So for some reason, it's not giving the full performance, and I kind of expect the same behavior here in the 17 Pro Max. But it could also be the case that the 17 Pro is just reaching 44 and above, and my tests somehow are showing that when you go to like 44, 45, it will start to throttle. And even when I was doing the more enhanced stress test, guys, the internal readings was like 51 on the SoC package. So yeah, okay, let's see how much are we gonna get in the 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme. Alright, guys, very comparable results, 6022. Alright, this is absolutely comparable, the average FPS, everything here. Temperature, guys, pay attention. Again, internal readings, 38 Celsius to 40 Celsius, 36 Celsius to 39 Celsius. It could also be the case that Xiaomi are using a different tuning for the 17 Pro Max, being a bigger phone, alright, which means physically this phone has a bigger surface, so it can probably dissipate heat easier or more optimal than the small form factor here. And also, of course, it has a bigger vapor chamber. But so far, just these two basic tests are showing me that apparently the 17 Pro Max is running cooler. So of course, what I want to do right now, and just to be 100% sure, I will want to run the Wildlife Extreme stress test, because this is gonna give us 20 consecutive rounds, guys. Both phones are running on auto brightness. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna click here again. All right, let's just use auto brightness. Okay. But you can see right now that the 17 Pro Max definitely is pumping more brightness. So let me restart the test now on auto brightness. All right, and let's see what happens after 5 rounds. We are now about to enter round number 5. Something that I've noticed. First things first, the display on the 17 Pro Max is just brighter. So the 17 Pro, it's already probably throttling, because I can also see that the 17 Pro Max is giving me 2 to 3 to 4 FPS more in the same areas. And of course, hopefully you're gonna manifest this and see this in the results. Let's try to measure some temps. 47.3 and here 47.3. Okay. Alright guys, round number 11. Let's try to check some temps. 48.6 for the 17 Pro Max. Ooh, alright. And oh my god, 49.5 for the small Xiaomi, guys. And I can see with my own eyes, guys, sometimes this phone will like continuously do, even right now, just compare the FPS. Like 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, even sometimes 4 FPS more. Honestly, if this stays like this, I'm thinking at the end, this phone, probably both of them will have like the same high loop score, but the 17 Pro Max is going to have higher lower scores, and resulting hopefully into a better stability, maybe more than 65%. Okay, at least more than 60. All right, see here guys, 30 FPS, all right. 26 FPS, almost like 30 FPS here. Okay guys, 8 more rounds to go. Round number 15, guys. Let's see what is the situation right now. 49.6.8. Okay, almost 50, all right, 50 for the 17 Pro Max. And, okay, yeah, 50 here as well, guys, all right. So you can see I'm trying to measure continuously. So this area is like, okay, 50.5. Let's do here. All right. Yeah, maybe like half a degree less, guys. But what is still more important is check here, guys. Check the FPS, all right? 29 above 30. Okay, 30, 31. Honestly, both phones right now are crazy hot. But at the end, I'm betting that this one will have a higher stability rating. Maybe not that high, maybe that only like 5% higher, but this is my gut feeling. Let's see if I'm right after 5 rounds. This is round number 20, the last one. All right, let's try to see what happens here. Okay, it's around 50, 49, 50, you can see. Let's check the smaller one. Yeah, okay, probably like 0.2, 0.3 degrees higher. But I do believe that probably the tuning is around the same. So I'm not sure if they are both trolling at the same time, but even if they do so, this phone is running tiny bit cooler. And now, I think this is the moment of truth. What the heck, 81%? Oh my god, guys. Yes, I expected a higher stability rating, but this is absolutely stunning. This is very, very good, guys. The overall best loop score isn't that good on both phones. By the way, the Xiaomi 17 Pro, the smaller one, is winning here, but take a look at the lowest loop score, 3156 versus 4238, and then check this graph, guys. It's so much stable. High performance, dip, all right, stable for so many rounds. From 5th round until round number 15, like 10 rounds, absolutely stable performance. Another drop, maybe throttling a bit, and then boom, still stable. And you can see the curve on the Xiaomi 17 Pro. All right, strong performance here, dip, another dip, and then at the end, some stable performance. Okay, performance range, this is the best and the worst frame rates. So loop 1, the best frame rates for the Xiaomi 17. Loop 1 also the best frame rates for the 17 Pro. And loop 19, guys, at the end, the worst frame rates. Here, I think the same story. This is so cool, guys. Having these phones, the 17 Pro and the 17 Pro Max, it's absolutely like almost the same internals, but this one of course is bigger and it has a bigger vapor chamber. Now guys, this is very, very important. What happened with the temperatures, guys? You can see the internal readings 45 to 53. Here 42 to 50. This is also what I was seeing with my temp gun, that this phone was able to run cooler with 1 to 2, even like sometimes 3 Celsius. And very important, guys, the frame rate here from 14 to 43, here 19 to 31. So honestly, guys, I have now high hopes with the 17 Pro Max, you know, doing all my emulation testing and everything else, that if you are searching, if you're looking for a better 8 OLED Gen 5 performance, then this version's probably gonna be better than this one. Of course, if you're looking for a purely gaming phone, then it's gonna be all the Red Magics and the other crazy phones, you know, with cooling and stuff like this. But the bigger form factor and the bigger vapor chamber will hopefully give a difference. I don't know right now, I cannot quantify how big exactly is this difference, but based on this testing, you can see that bigger sometimes matters. All right, anyway guys, I hope that you have liked this review. In the meantime, go and check my GTA 5 emulation, the God of War emulation, and all the other things that I did with the small one, because I'm going to repeat the very same test now with the bigger boy. And it's gonna be interesting to see how the bigger boy is going to perform. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay safe, VST over and out.